Most Americans have seen this plant growing by ponds, marshes, and drainage ditches. And almost nobody realizes it could be one of the most overlooked food plants in the country. Honestly, when grocery bills keep rising and health foods get more expensive every year, this forgotten wetland weed starts to look a lot less like a nuisance and a lot more like something we should have been paying attention to all along. Here's the thing. This isn't just a story about some wild plant growing in muddy water. It's a story about how we got so disconnected from useful food that we can walk past it for years and never even question what it is. And this is where it gets interesting. Once you realize cattail has edible shoots, starch-rich roots, and even a yellow pollen people have used like flour, the whole plant starts to feel less like a weed and more like a hidden survival crop. But the bigger question is the one that really matters. If something this useful has been right in front of us the whole time, why did it completely disappear from the American food conversation? And honestly, wait until you hear which part of this plant might be the most surprising of all. Section 1. The plant. Most Americans ignore. Most Americans have seen cattail before, even if they don't know the name. It's that tall plant with the brown, cigar-shaped flower head growing around ponds, marshes, lake edges, drainage ditches, and wet corners of the landscape most people barely look at twice. And honestly, that's part of what makes this story so strange. It's not rare. It's not hidden deep in some remote wilderness. It's sitting out in plain sight all across the country, and still almost nobody thinks of it as food. What most people don't realize is that cattail has been quietly carrying a completely different identity this whole time. To most modern Americans, it's just a swamp plant, maybe a weed, maybe something that makes an area look overgrown. But researchers were asking a very different question decades ago. What if this plant wasn't a problem at all? What if it was actually a crop people stopped paying attention to? And that shift in perspective changes everything. Because once you stop looking at cattail as background scenery, the numbers start to get hard to ignore. This is a plant with edible shoots, usable roots, protein-rich pollen, and multiple parts that have been relied on in different food traditions for a very long time. In other words, this isn't one of those stories where people are trying to force usefulness onto something random. The usefulness was already there. America just built a food culture that stopped noticing plants like this unless they came in clean packaging with a label on them. And here's the surprising part. The most valuable part of cattail isn't even the part you see above the water. The real story starts underground. Section 2. The underground food. Nobody talks about beneath the mud is the part that really changes the conversation. The rhizome. Honestly, this is where cattail stops sounding like a quirky wild plant and starts sounding like something far more serious. Because once you dig below the surface, you find a dense underground structure packed with starch. And suddenly this isn't just about foraging curiosity anymore. It's about the kind of food source that could actually matter. Most people think of wetlands as places where food production is impossible. Too wet, too messy, too hard to work with. But here's the thing. Cattail was built for exactly those conditions. While a lot of backyard crops need decent soil, regular watering, fertilizer, and constant attention, cattail is out there thriving in the margins, doing well, in the very places conventional gardening usually struggles. And that alone should make more people pause. Because in America, we're used to thinking of calories in a very specific way. Potatoes come from the produce aisle. Flour comes in a bag. Starch comes from industrial crops grown in flat, controlled fields. Cattail breaks that mental model. Its rhizomes can be cooked, processed, and used in ways that make it feel less like a decorative marsh plant and more like a forgotten pantry crop. And this is where it gets interesting. It grows in landscapes most people don't even consider productive. That's a big deal, especially when food prices keep moving in one direction. You can spend money every season buying staples, buying inputs, buying whatever the system tells you is normal to buy. Or you can at least begin asking a better question. How many useful food plants have we ignored simply because they don't fit the modern retail model? You could easily spend $100 on specialty flours, starchy staples, or premium natural foods without thinking twice. But for that same $100, a lot of Americans could improve a pond edge, build out a more resilient backyard system, or start learning how plants outside the grocery store actually work. And no, that doesn't mean cattail becomes your new everyday potato overnight, but it does force a serious rethink. Because a plant that comes back on its own, grows in wet ground and produces edible underground food without needing annual reseeding, is playing a very different game from the one most people are used to. It doesn't ask for much. It doesn't fit neatly into a standard garden center vegetable display, and maybe that's exactly why it was so easy to overlook. But the underground starch is only part of the story, because once spring comes, cattail sends up another edible piece that feels much easier for modern Americans to imagine actually putting on a plate. Section 3. The spring shoot. Most people would actually try, if the underground rhizome feels a little too survivalist. The young shoots are where cattail becomes much easier to picture as real food. When they first come up, they're tender, pale, and mild, honestly, much closer to something like asparagus or a fresh spring vegetable than most people would expect from a marsh plant. And that matters, because this is the part that makes cattail feel less intimidating. You're no longer imagining mud and roots. You're imagining something crisp, seasonal, and actually usable in a normal meal. That shift is important. A lot of people in the U.S. will spend good money on premium greens, spring produce, or clean-eating foods at Whole Foods or a farmer's market, but would never think a wetland plant could belong in the same conversation. What most people don't realize is that traditional communities didn't treat plants like this as novelty foods. They treated them as useful, reliable, seasonal, worth knowing. And in a culture that's gotten used to buying everything pre-washed and pre-labeled, that kind of knowledge feels almost foreign now. But here's the surprising part. Even the shoots aren't the most unusual thing this plant gives you, because once cattail reaches flowering stage, it produces something that changes the whole story again. Section 4. The yellow pollen that changes the whole story. And this is where it gets interesting. When cattail flowers, the top part releases a soft yellow pollen that people have actually collected and used like flour. Honestly, that's the moment this plant stops feeling like a forgotten wetland vegetable and starts feeling almost unbelievable. Because now you're not just talking about shoots or roots. You're talking about a plant that can also give you a seasonal ingredient with real nutritional value. And in the U.S., where people spend serious money on protein powders, baking mixes, and all kinds of superfood products, the comparison hits a little differently. No, cattail pollen isn't going to replace your whole pantry. But that's not really the point. The point is that a plant most people ignore can produce something this useful, this unusual, and this easy to overlook. And once you see that, it gets harder to keep calling it just a weed. But here's the thing. Cattail still has one more advantage that makes the story even bigger than food. Section 5. It doesn't just feed you. But here's the thing. Cattail doesn't just give you edible parts. It also helps clean the kind of damaged wet environments most people write off as useless. And that makes this plant much more than a weird food source. What most people don't realize is that cattail can pull nutrients out of water and thrive in places where the land is too wet, too messy, or too unstable for normal crops. So now the story gets bigger. This isn't just about roots, shoots, or pollen. It's about a plant that feeds you while also improving the space around it. And honestly, that's a pretty different model from the one most Americans are used to. We're used to spending money on food, then spending money again on landscaping, then spending money again on fixing environmental problems. Cattail blurs those lines. It belongs to a category of plant that actually works for the land instead of constantly demanding more from it. And once you understand that, the next question becomes impossible to ignore. If cattail is this useful, why didn't America ever turn it into a real food crop? Section 6. So, why didn't America turn this into food? Honestly, the simplest answer is this. Cattail makes more sense as a local plant than a mass-market product. It grows in wet, uneven places. It doesn't fit neat rows. It doesn't harvest cleanly with standard machinery. And it doesn't slide easily into the kind of food system built around packaging, shipping, and selling the same thing at scale. That's the part most people miss. A plant can be useful and still get ignored if it doesn't fit the business model. Cattail doesn't really need annual reseeding. It doesn't depend on the same inputs. And it works best close to where it grows, not after a long trip to a Costco shelf or a Whole Foods display. So the issue may not be that America proved this plant had no value. It may be that modern food culture stopped rewarding the kinds of value cattail actually offers. And once you see that, the story stops being just about one plant. It starts becoming about what kinds of food knowledge we kept and what kinds we left behind. Section 7. America New Plants. Like this before. And that leads us to something even more important. Cattail was never truly unknown. Long before modern grocery culture, indigenous communities in North America already understood this plant as something useful, seasonal, and worth harvesting. That matters because it reminds us this isn't some internet trick or survival fantasy. It's older than that. Honestly, modern America tends to trust things more when they come with branding, studies, or a supplement label. But plants like cattail belong to a different kind of knowledge system, one built from lived experience, observation, and repetition over generations. Science may help explain that value now, but it didn't create it. And once you realize that, the real loss becomes clearer. We didn't just forget a plant, we forgot how to recognize usefulness when it doesn't come packaged for us. Section 8. How to recognize it without romanticizing it. But here's the thing. Wild food only matters if you approach it responsibly. Cattail isn't poisonous, but that doesn't mean every patch is safe to use. The biggest rule is simple. Clean water matters. A plant growing in polluted runoff, roadside drainage, or contaminated water is not the same as one growing in a clean pond or natural wetland. What most people don't realize is that knowing the plant is only half the job. You also have to know the place, the season, and the part you're using. That's how traditional knowledge worked, and honestly, that's the part modern people tend to skip. So yes, cattail can be useful. But the real lesson here isn't reckless free food. It's learning how to see a plant clearly and use that knowledge with a little more respect. Section 9. Could you actually grow it in the U.S.? Honestly, for most people, cattail isn't a plant for a kitchen windowsill or a little patio herb pot. But if you have a pond edge, a wet backyard corner, a drainage area, or rural land that stays damp, then yes, it can absolutely make sense in the U.S. And this is where it gets interesting. Cattail fits the kinds of spaces most gardeners usually struggle with. It's not competing with tomatoes in a raised bed. It belongs in the overlooked margins, the soggy spots, the places modern gardening usually tries to fix. So the real question isn't, can everyone grow this? It's, do some American landscapes already have room for plants like this without much effort at all? And for a lot of people, the answer is probably yes. But once you start thinking that way, the story gets even bigger, because cattail may matter most when the future gets harder, not easier. Section 10. Why this plant matters more than ever. And honestly, this may be the biggest reason cattail matters now more than ever. Food is getting more expensive. Weather is getting less predictable. Supply chains feel stable until they don't. And when you put all of that together, plants that can handle wet ground, come back on their own, and offer real usefulness start looking very different. Because this story was never just about one marsh plant. It's about what kind of food system holds up under pressure. Most modern crops want control-good soil, steady inputs, predictable conditions. Cattail belongs to a different category entirely. It survives in the kind of places modern agriculture usually tries to drain, flatten, or ignore. So maybe the real takeaway isn't that everyone needs to run out and start eating cattail tomorrow. It's that we need to start looking at the landscape with different eyes, because the future may reward resilience a lot more than convenience. Here's the surprising part. Cattail doesn't just challenge the way we think about one plant. It challenges the way we think about food itself. We've been trained to believe real food comes from stores, systems, brands, and constant buying. But cattail reminds you that usefulness can still exist outside all of that in places modern life taught us to ignore. And honestly, that may be the deepest point in this whole story. A plant growing quietly in marshes and pond edges can offer food, resilience, and ecological value at the same time. Not because it was engineered to do that, not because it was marketed well, but because nature was already doing something smarter than we gave it credit for. Once you see that, you don't just look at cattail differently. You start looking at the entire landscape differently.